Hey, good Saturday morning, I should say. I'm WCI3 meteorologist Jacob Dickey here. Wanted to bring you an update on the chance for some strong to severe storms later on today. As we continue to watch things this morning, some light rain showers and a couple of rumbles of thunder moving through. We've had some showers in Champaign-Urbana here, of course, with race weekend, the half marathon this morning. If you watched our show, you saw some of that rain right at the end there at Memorial Stadium where the finish line is. So we will update you on what's happening now. Of course, we'll talk about the severe threat later on today. Make sure you download the WCI3 weather app. It's a great app to have. You can get weather alerts and more programmed for your location. Get that forecast update. See all of the latest information as well there. And then download the news app as well. That's another app. We've got two of them. Weather, news, and the news app does have some weather stuff too, but if you have the weather app, that's important for staying up to date. Let's talk a little bit about those current conditions out there right now. And first off, in Champaign here, temperature at 64. We've got a south and east wind. Notice our dew point at 55. We need our dew points to come up a little more, I think, for some strong to severe storms. And that's expected to happen with due time today. Temperatures in the board here, low middle 60s in many spots, a little cooler towards Pontiac and Watsika. 67 though down in Mattoon. That south and southeast wind will continue to bring in more moisture, more instability slowly through the area. Those south winds are out there sustained 10 to 20 miles an hour. Some of those gusts here are as high as 25 to 30 miles an hour here this morning. As far as dew point values go, you can see here starting those greens and yellows, a sign where the more, rich moisture is here. Ideally, we need our dew points to be in the low 60s, 62, 63, 64. We're a little low now, but we've still got some time to get them up. It's still a dew point of 48 in Watsika, so that moisture still hasn't reached all the way north either, and so we'll see where we end up. But I think at a minimum, we need that 62, 63, 64 reading. A little shy now, but we've got some time with that south wind to pull some more moisture on in. Here's a look at Storm Tracker Doppler. If we're looking at storm chances for the day today, there's some good and some bad, I guess, with that. First off, I think if you're looking for more storms, there's not a whole lot of activity here this morning that's being seen. Yes, there's some scattered showers here, but our guidance, our data has suggested we would have some of that this morning here as these showers and a few storms lift on through the area. However, there's not a lot of clearing behind that initial line. In fact, it looks like there's more light showers developing to the south and west there. When we zoom out, you'll see some of these little showers in here. They're weakening, but there's still some signs that maybe we're going to keep at least some cloud cover in place. Although I see down here in Missouri a pocket of clearing, and then I see some clearing as well in here. It would really help things, I think. First off, we'll have storms regardless, but for the severe threat, it would really help things to bring that severe threat up more, to get a little more sunshine. So I think that's what we're going to watch here for the next little bit. Our guidance has done a good job, at least with lighter rain showers this morning, so that's been expected, and we'll see if some of that clearing is able to move on. And it looks like there's some clearing even just west of the Illinois River in western Illinois. So those are the things we're going to be watching for the day today. Right now, there's a level 2 slight risk for the entire viewing area. If you turn the TV on and you watch us, you are on that level 2 risk, which makes things pretty easy because this forecast is valid for about everyone. You talk about the threats and the impacts, and so that's what we'll break down here. First off, the timing will be 2 p.m. until 9 p.m. That'll be our window of opportunity for our prime time for severe storms. I'll show you specific regions and timing here in a little bit. Mainly will be a wind threat, I think, like most severe weather risk around here. Damaging winds 55 to 65 miles an hour on the table. There's still some questions on the storm type. Is it more individual, or is it more clusters, or more of a line? If we can get a little more, couple individual cells somewhere, that would bring our hail and tornado threat up a little bit. If we can get a supercell, that's still there and still a possibility where maybe we have 1 or 2 of those in the region. But if we see more clusters and lots of storms all around each other, that's going to be more of a wind threat with downburst winds than anything here. We think the wind threat leads, but there's a chance that maybe a storm or 2 does go more isolated or semi-discrete. And if that happens, our tornado threat goes up. Where that happens remains to be seen here. We've been watching Future Track, keeping an eye on where the guidance is pointing out. First off, it's picking up on some of these light rain showers continuing to push on through noon today. I'll mention that the clouds here, yes, there's a few breaks, but Future Track hasn't really been too helpful in that department for us here, suggesting maybe we'll stay more cloudy than not. If that happens, still storms, but maybe the severe threat comes down a little bit here into the region. Once we get to 1, 2 o'clock, then that's when we'll start watching. There may very well be some instability that forms right ahead of things there. In fact, you can see here, a little storm there, a little storm there, a couple of storms here. So I think for the severe threat, that window opens up by 2 p.m., if not a little earlier, and it will progress with eastward extent here. Here's 4 o'clock. There's some clusters up here, and there's some clusters down here. Exact placement, I don't want you to say, oh, 4 p.m. it's going to storm in south of Springfield. We're looking at the trend here and noting that they're more clustered in nature, which maybe helps bring that tornado threat down a little bit. But still, if we have one of those isolated storms on the south end of it, or a little eerie rotation, that's still going to mean it's a chance. 5 o'clock now, approaching I-57. 6 o'clock here, we're starting to see those storms push east of I-57. And then 7, 8, 9 o'clock here, starting to exit into Indiana with a breezy south and west wind in the backside as the system slides on by. We're dry then area-wide by midnight. This is our tornado risk. It is a 4 for the day today. That's a pretty standard number here. When we get those severe weather events, you get 4 or 5. That's normal for a severe weather event. We would start worrying a little more at 6, 7, and very rarely do we get anything above that. For comparison, last weekend we were at a 3, and we had a strong EF1 in Christian County. This weekend we're at a 4. So there's a chance we get a couple of tornadoes today here in central Illinois. That range, though, does go all the way from the state line in Rockford, Chicago, all the way south of Illinois. So not everyone sees a tornado. Not everyone sees severe storms, but at least somewhere in this area there's ingredients overlapping enough where at least a couple would be possible, especially if we get one of those more isolated storms here into the region. Damaging wind risk here, you look at our color scale, it's on the lower end, still 55 to 65 mile per hour winds possible. With any stronger storm, not everyone sees that, only a few of us would. A lot of us are going to see at least some rain and storms there. Large hail risk, I'll put, area-wide, it's that same level, it's on the lower end here. I'll put that there may be an isolated spot or two that can get up to $half size, quarter $half, if we have one of those isolated storms. If they're more clustered, we're probably less than a quarter here. And where I think that probably would be the best is where we see some of those initial storms early on here for our hail size, quarter to $half, an isolated either a supercell or something looking like that would be the best chance for that. But not everyone's seeing that. I want to clarify that again. If I can't say it enough here, that's where we think the best chance at least to get that would play out. This is our timing graphic, and this is going to be for the severe threat here. Jacksonville, you're probably far enough west in Jacksonville where the storms may develop just to your east, but we're going to leave you in the window here up to I-55, including Lincoln and Springfield, 12 to 3. We'll open the window then from 2 p.m. until 6 p.m. for Taylorville, Shelbyville, Decatur, areas west of Champaign towards Monticello, Bloomington, Pontiac, and then 4 to 8 p.m. from Effingham, Mattoon, Champaign, Watseka points to the east. This reddish area here is after 6 p.m., pushing across the state line. This, again, when the threat, I think, will be the most likely chance for severe storms here. There may be some showers and storms earlier than that. We've already got some this morning, but this is looking at that window of opportunity for some strong storms here into the region. Main prime time, again, 2 p.m. till 9 p.m., but we'll leave that window open 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. here west of I-55 towards Springfield and Jacksonville, because we may have something start to show its signs by 1:30 even into the area out there. So that's, again, our timing graphic for the severe threat today. Again, this is the impacts. If you want to read more, I've got all of the details updated on WCIA.com and the WCIA3 weather app. You want to read it? Look at the maps again. Maybe I went a little quick for you. You can head there and get all of that information. We will keep you updated and be here all day long. Again, tornado and hail threat is low, but there may be a storm or two where that threat goes up a little bit somewhere in the region, whether that's here or just to the north of us or maybe just to the south of us. We'll wait and see how that shakes out, but I don't think this is a widespread significant event necessarily, but certainly 1 or 2 storms could cause some problems somewhere into the region. That's what I have for you. I'm going to answer questions now and then wrap this up. We'll be back in here this afternoon keeping an eye on it. So if not, the next time I'll probably talk to you, hopefully, will be on WCIA3 News at 6 o'clock, but if we need to cut in on digital or even TV, we'll have you updated here as we go through the afternoon as needed. You can watch TV, see the crawl go on the bottom of the screen. If there's an alert issued, we'll keep you updated on our social media, our digital platforms, and the app will also send you alerts if you were in the area. Let's check the comments. If you've got a question, throw it up there. You know, timing, impacts. I got prom tonight. What's the rain looking like? Things like that. We will keep an eye on it here and keep you updated. Zany in Urbana, she's letting us know this morning, been mostly mist here in East Urbana, could use the rain. Yeah, it's kind of sliding to the north a little bit, and so we'll keep an eye on that. Later this afternoon, though, I think you'll have a good chance of getting some rain. Most all of us, I think, should at least get some rain and storms at some point. That severe threat will be for some of us. If we get more sunshine, then maybe in the back of your mind think, sunshine, that's going to help the severe threat go up a little bit here into the region. Hume, I know exactly where that is, south of Sidell there. I've been to there a couple of times, so Melissa's trying to quiz me on my geography here this morning. What else? We've got Corey watching from Mattoon. Is it going to get bad? Again, this is we get severe weather in the spring. April and May are our prime severe weather months. Today's one of those standard severe weather type of days. You know, it's not a high-end event by any means. But if a storm comes to your neighborhood and causes damage, then that's a high-end event for you here. But the odds at this point for a widespread event are low, but we may at least have a storm or two that causes some problems, and it's, you know, flip a coin to figure out where exactly that ends up. Still there's the fair chance that if those clouds hang on and we don't get those dew points up, maybe the severe threat is not much more than, you know, widely isolated at best here. So we'll continue to watch those trends here throughout the day and keep an eye on them. Liz, supposed to travel north to Moni and back today. Think you'll be safe. You know, I don't want to tell you today you got to cancel your plans and not do anything. That's not the type of day today is. Today is one of those days where just check periodically the forecast and have a plan. Again, it's that time of year. We all know what can happen, and so if we have a plan, we're ready to go. That's probably the most important thing for us here, just to refresh that. Selena asking, what's confidence leaning towards as far as the afternoon storms? I think regardless, we're having afternoon showers and thunderstorms here. A couple of scenarios that could play out. One, we may have too many storms, and they crowd each other and interact with each other and keep the tornado threat down, but still bring some wind with it. Two is if we have an isolated storm or two form in that may up the severe threat a little bit for us in a spot or two, but I don't see that being a widespread thing at this point. And so we will watch that closely. We will expect widespread showers and storms. It's that severe threat where a little more instability would do a lot of work for helping to bring that threat up a little bit. So I think at some point, you got prom photos. You're outside. A lot of folks this weekend have plans. At least plan for some rain and thunder and have a way to head indoors if there's any lightning in your area. Okay, Mary's at it again. She's asking, where's Longview? ABL, Allerton Broadlands Longview, the old school there before it became Heritage. And Melinda asking, what about prom in Taylorville? I think the good news for a lot of proms here, especially west of I-57, once the dancing starts, they'll be fine. There may be some areas that do have to watch, you know, in that transition time from food to dancing when they're heading to places and whatnot, where that may be a chance. But I know the school districts are well aware of the chance for strong storms today. We've got a list of proms here that we can talk specifically on TV to those school staff. You know, I created a list of all of the known proms in the area. And that way, if there's a severe weather warning, and I know there's a couple of proms there, well, we know that the administration, the schools will be watching closely and keeping an eye. And so we will let them know specifically not only what the school district is, but where they're heading. A lot of schools don't have prom in their own building. They go somewhere. That's how prom was for me, and so we've been trying to keep track of that as well. I've got that list. I got a post from yesterday that it's got a number of them too, and so we'll be keeping a close eye on that. All right, that is what I want to keep you up to date with here. Again, the tornado risk for the day today is a 4. That 4 goes area-wide. You're watching north, south, east, west. We're all in that same risk here. A standard risk. It's a slight risk of severe weather today. We get a lot of those. It's not that level 3, 4, 5. It's a level 2. While still we want to respect that, at least we don't expect this to be a widespread significant event, but there may be some localized corridors with, if we get a stronger storm, that certainly could have a couple of tornadoes, so we're going to watch that very closely through the day today. We encourage you to do the same. for that. That is what I have for you. We'll have more updates for you throughout the day with team coverage from Kevin, Jack, myself, and Amelia. We'll keep you updated, and we will watch things from the studio and have more updates if needed throughout the afternoon. Take care.